My name's Nick Smith. I'm Group Managing Director of Reward Funding, a Leeds-based UK-wide SME lending business. We've been working with Propaganda for 18 months on a brand discovery and I guess marketing consultancy type approach, whereby we've been trying to understand more about our business, how we can approach to market and how we can deliver the goals and objectives that we've set as a board and shareholders. We were at a crossroads really with the Reward business, because at this point we were 11, 12 years in, we'd grown rapidly, and it felt about the right time to just question our identity a little bit, and actually was the business, not the business fit for purpose, but was the brand and the message fit for purpose for effectively the next stage of our growth. We needed to transition the business away slightly from being, we are a people-led business, and that was clear in the work Propaganda did, and that's played loud back to us. But how do we then move it more from a I know so-and-so in the market into a deal with Reward, rather than dealing with Nick, who happens to work at Reward? So there's a bit of that whole growing up, I think, is probably a reasonable analogy about how do we grow the business up to make sure actually it stands on its own 2 feet, more as a brand in the market rather than a collective of people who work for an organisation. The key for me was really how they're extremely organised and extremely focused on what the output needs to be. There's lots of idea generation, there's no messing about. I kind of always feel that I know where we're heading and what we're trying to achieve and what the output will be. It's not about the logo or the end game, that's just a little minor part of the output. The key decision point for us as a business, and for me as an MD of said business, was actually, let's understand what does the customer want, what does the client, what does the colleagues say, what do our introducers say. So actually, yes, the market sees a nice new logo and lots of different things, but that's 5%, if that. The rest of it is actually what goes on behind the scenes and what learnings can we put in there. We've done the external branding piece, we've just relaunched our own internal employee value proposition, so that was a key message internally to go, this is not a marketing thing, this is a whole business thing. We've got a much better idea of our market positioning and identity. We've gone through one of the biggest internal sort of projects we've had to deal with, which has been about a refinance of the business. We're a lending business, so our raw material is cash. So we're always we've had to refinance our lending books and bring more cash into the business. So that's been talking to people who don't know us, talking to banks and institutions on a pretty much global level who don't understand the Reward business. So the Propaganda piece running alongside that's made us, or given us the tools to articulate better what we are and what we stand for and what clients say and where our proposition sits, which has then enabled us to be far more succinct with people who've been wanting to lend us money. The outputs being that we've completed that project, we've raised £360 million, one of the biggest deals that's been done in the commercial finance space, particularly for a Leeds-based business for a long time. So it worked really well, and Propaganda work really enabled us to bring that to life.